we'll do today, well, we'll play some guitars, really. This is 1974 Telecaster Standard. Probably my most favourite affordable guitar. This Epiphone SG Special. I've just noticed, going from an SG straight to a Les Paul, how uncomfortable it is in this sitting position. All EQs on noon. You know, all those modelling amps, they're all very good, but I mean, get yourself a decent little tube amp. It's a living, breathing thing. It does just what I want it to do anyway. Surprisingly good for £211. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So today, as promised, we're going to take a closer look at this, the Harley Benton Tube 15. So this is a budget amp, super value budget amp that I bought a week or so ago when I went on the Thomann website to buy the Harley Benton MR Classic guitar that we reviewed last week. Now, a lot of you will already be familiar with this. It's been around for a couple of years now. Sells in the States as the Monoprice Stage Right. Sells for around about $250, I think, $270. This is the rebranded version for Europe. So got a different power supply and the Harley Benton badge on it, sold through the Thomann website. As I said, I think I said, if I didn't, I'm going to say it. Or if I did, I'm going to say it again anyway. £211 I paid for this. Already, I saw today that it's selling for £209. So yeah, again, the prices of these things fluctuate according to some algorithm or something. But look, it's dirt cheap. I mean, in the tube amp world, this is quite a thing. As a 15 watt 12-inch speaker tube amp for just over 200 quid, this is a bit of a bargain compared to the competition. Assuming, of course, that it is any competition for the others, but we'll make a judgment call on that when we've heard it. But compared to, say, the Fender Blues Junior, that sells for still around about 550, 600 quid. Vox AC 15, again, that's a 15 watt 12-inch, 600 quid, you know, around about that. The cheaper ones are the Marshall DSL, that only comes with a 20 watt now. That's about 400 quid, I think. The Laney Super Cub, I think it's called the Super Cub, 15, again, that's around about 400 quid. And that's relevant as well because there's been, I think there's a suggestion that this is the same circuit as the Laney Super Cub, okay? I'm not sure if I'll be able to verify that today. I might try and take the back off and see, but apparently on the circuit board it says Laney Super Cub. So it's got a lot of similarities and it's half the price. It's not short on features either. It's got an effects loop. It's got a spring reverb, a real spring reverb. It's got a 1 watt switch attenuator as well. That's here. So the specs of this, the preamp's got 3 12AX7 preamp tubes, and the power tubes, it's got 2 EL84 power valves. Celestion 12-inch 7080 speaker, as I said, spring reverb, foot switch socket, but no foot switch included. Whole thing weighs 11.5 kilograms. It's got a 3-year warranty. It's quite impressive. It's a nice looking thing. I think you'll agree. I love the cream. Look at that, real nice cream leather handle, nice cream Tolex, good looking amp. What we'll do today is, well, we'll play some guitars really through this, and we'll twiddle some knobs, and we'll see what it sounds like. Guitars I've chosen today are these. Thought we'd start with probably my most favourite affordable guitar. This Epiphone SG Special, which I love, and this cost me about £319, and obviously got a pair of P90s, and then the Tokai Love Rock. But you know, not any old Love Rock, I'll have you know. If you saw the upgrade series I did on this, you'll know that this is now loaded with what we call the Mad Murray's boutique PAFs, made by Murray's Pickups, of course. And we've got the bridge with we've got a Faber bridge with brass saddles and an upgraded lightweight hardware on this. So it's kind of a, well, you'll hear it in a minute. And for single coils, of course, we need a Telecaster because they're better than Strats. And this is my 1974 Telecaster Standard. So I thought we'd have a little blast on that as well today while we can. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to play those guitars through this, and we're going to twiddle some knobs and see what sort of sounds come out of the speaker. Before we do that though, we've got one thing to deal with. You will see that it's got a lovely mirror finish chrome panel, control panel. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? And you can't see what anything says. You can in a certain light, but I can just about see it from here if I peek at the right angle. But you know, you've got gain, volume, tone, bass, middle, treble, reverb, and a 1 watt, 15 watt switch. But you won't be able to see what I'm playing with. So what I've got is this. I've got a label maker, so I'm going to make my own little labels, stick them on there somewhere, so we can see what we're up to, really. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, I've put my labels along the top there on a bit of insulating tape. So you'll hopefully be able to see what I'm doing when I do my knob adjusting, and also we'll find out if insulating tape is going to mark the toe legs when I take it off later. Okay, so actually let's just zero all the knobs to start with. There we go. And then what we'll do, so you've got gain, volume, tone. And this is, I suppose, like a low cut on a Vox or an ISF on a Black Star sort of thing. That's a, plus or minus tone. Onto the plus side for a little bit more top, and onto the minus side for a little bit more bass. And then you've got your bass, which we're going to start with on noon, and middle on noon, and treble we'll start with on noon. So all EQs on noon. Verb, so as I said, spring reverb, so we'll start with that on, well, about 3. So yeah, SG Special with the P90s. I'm starting with the P90s because that's my go-to pickup. So what I'll try and do is dial in the sound that's in my head to start with. So obviously I've used this, so I kind of got an idea where that is to start with. Whoops. I'm going to start with the volume just on about 2. And then when we bring up the gain, so let's start with gain on 3. So pretty quickly, I've been able to dial in the sound in my head. So what I'm looking for is just a bit of that. But that, you know, you can clean up with your picking. Or roll off the volume. Maybe a little bit more top. I like my sound toppy. As much bite as I can get. Tone. The middle. Wow, I've just noticed going from an SG straight to a Les Paul, how uncomfortable it is in this sitting position. Got to hunch over to kind of get a grip of it. Wow. So this is the tokai with the humbuckers. These are what I call the Mad Murrays, or somebody else called the Mad Murrays actually, and I adopted that name for them because I think it's brilliant. These are boutique PAFs wound by Murray's pickups, Ben Murray there, and he wound them with my sound in mind, so they're very bright and bitey. I love them, and they sound like this. You start on the bridge. Just rolled that volume off a little bit. It's a quite P90 like, really, which I think's great. Anyway, we're not showing off pickups, we're showing off the amp. Sounds great, doesn't it? A lot of people will want more gain than that, so let's try and dial in a little bit more gain. Roll off the volume a bit. It's less than 2, the volume. And there we go. Full whack. my version of chugging. I've never done it before in my life. Don't even know what it is. It's too much gain for me, so I would maybe dial it off to there. Let's try this. Yeah, but I like it about here. So this is 1974 Telecaster standard, which I'm very lucky to own, and it sounds like this. Same settings as earlier, as we just finished on the Tokai. Telecaster obviously a lot brighter. It sounds like this. I mean, that's the quintessential bright telly thing that kind of does this, doesn't it? Quite bright, isn't it? So you'd probably want to back the brightness off a little bit for a Telecaster. Let's take the top back. Let's back off the gain. Turn up the volume. It's a very loud amp, as you can hear. In a minute, we'll muck around with the 1 watt setting. So let's quickly whiz through the tone controls so you can just see the range from each tone. Bass. Bass apparently, it's not basswood, it's basswood apparently. Middle. treble. Yeah, what I normally do with these is have them pretty much on noon. Season accordingly, I suppose. Reverb. Yeah, it does wash out a bit, doesn't it, when you turn it up? Yeah. But about there, I think it's all right. I mean, it's a nice, it's just a little bit of spring reverb. To be honest with you, I'm not an expert on reverbs, but it's got one. That's good. Okay. And that was with it all on the 15 watt setting, on half volume. So let's just play with that a little bit. It'll get pretty loud. And obviously you can plug it into the extension speaker as well if you want. I'm not going to do that now because it's too much messing around, but you could do that. And of course it's got the, so I reckon you could gig with this. So I reckon you could gig with this. In fact, I know you can because I've seen online people say they do. So it's worth thinking about, isn't it? Let's try the 1 watt setting. Let's get back to the, let's just get back to the crunch. Now let's try the 1 watt setting. Straight away, just bedroom friendly level, that, isn't it? It seems you can take liberties with that. Harley Benton Tube 15. I think it's a great little amp for a couple £100. Really. I mean, you can do everything on this. You know, all those modelling amps, they're all very good. But I mean, get yourself a decent little tube amp, a couple £100. Does it all at all volumes, and it's a living, breathing thing. I mean, obviously, I'm a big tube amp fan. I don't use modelling amps at all. Everything I do on the channel is literally a couple of mics in front of whatever I've decided to use, and whatever comes out is real. It's actually happened. It's not been tweaked at all. So, you know, that's that really. Look, this is surprisingly good for £211. it does just what I want it to do anyway. And it's got quite a wide range, isn't it? I mean, you want to do high gain on this, you can. We've tried some different pickups. They've all seemed to work in a way. You know, spend a little bit of time dialing in your own little sound, the sound in your head. But I got the sound in my head pretty quickly. Quite often here when I'm reviewing guitars, I'll do a little amp dance where I'll plug several in, sometimes up to half a dozen, until I can get the guitar dialed in to my satisfaction. I haven't had that problem today, and we've used 3 different guitars and they've all sounded good, I think, anyway, pretty much straight away. Maybe this is just a basic thing, and that's why maybe this amp's not trying too hard. Maybe some of the posher ones are. Maybe they're trying to, you know, do something else. But this is just basically giving me a nice tube crunch. And it's clean as well, isn't it? It's got loads of headroom. I mean, we haven't mucked around with many pedals today, but you can tell it's got a lot of headroom. You can tell. Yeah, it's got a lot of headroom. Right? Well, I've used the big Muff and that worked fine. I'm sure that this will take pedals really well. And, you know, it's got a 1 watt setting for diming it even more or practicing at home without annoying the neighbours. But it's certainly great value, and I'm certainly going to use it, you know, often, I think, probably. Well, there you go. I mean, obviously it's rebranded, you know, the Harley Benton is just a badge. It's a rebadged Stage Right Monoprice. I don't know what the brand is. Is it Monoprice or Stage Right? It's not Harley Benton. I mean, they rebadge some things, obviously, which we're very grateful of. There you go. That was it. That just leaves one thing for me to do, and that's to remove this insulating tape label arrangement, and let's see if it marks the Tolex. I think we got away with it. There you go. There you go. I'm going to keep that though. I'm going to stick that on the back because, to be honest with you, you're probably going to need that because you can't see, you know, it's black print on a mirror, chrome mirror finish. Basically, you can't see what you're doing. So, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I might stick that on top, and there you go. Right, so let's go. Until next week, thank you very much for watching. Hope that's been something. Come back next week and find out what we're up to then. All right, cheers for now. Ta-da.